Hello everyone, what's up? Just get the camera so it's angled on Petra nicely. Hello, welcome in. Hanging out for like a minute or two, just letting people join, answering questions. Petra is right here. Let's move this over a little so you can see her face. Oh, of course, as soon as I go to move it, she is going to move back, of course. So yeah, we'll just be hanging out for a few minutes. Oh, hello. She's gonna come say hi to the camera, maybe? Or maybe not. Sometimes she likes to come out during the lives and she's always out usually, but not hiding, but sometimes she'll kind of come out and check out the camera and go over this little ledge that the door shuts on, or whatever, the hinge, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to call it, but this little area right here where the door opens and closes. She's like, maybe I'll come out, maybe I won't. Petra's actually super, like, a lot more energetic now than she has been because she just shed recently. So she's feeling all fresh and clean and healthy now. Not that she wasn't healthy before, but she's feeling like fresh and energized now. So she is ready to go. That's good. Petra, I would appreciate if you stop moving out of camera view. Actually, recently, I just, what's it called? I just got more decorations for her tank. I've gotten her like some Easter ones and stuff, but I just got her some flowers and like really springy ones. I'm planning ahead a little bit, but you know. Ooh, what just happened? I don't know what that was. Planning ahead a little bit, but that's okay. For anyone new here, this is Petra. She is a bumblebee Ballpython, and she is going to be 3 years old in April. I'm the first one on the live. Nice. Oh, a little yawn from Petra. Petra always yawns at like either the beginning of the lives or right at the end. I'm not sure why. Could just be coincidence too. And everyone, feel free to ask any questions or share your thoughts in the chat, and we'll do our best to answer them. We'll do our best to answer them. Oh, Petra's on the move again. How old was she when you got her? Great question. She had just turned 1 when I got her, like give or take a week. She was like just 1, so that's why I celebrate her birthday and her like adoption or gotcha day on the same day, because she had like very close to just turned 1 when I got her. So it's like a double celebration day for her, but I just call it her birthday. So on April 10th, I had her for 2 years. I remember when I first got her, she was like, I mean, she's not huge right now, but she was little. She was so tiny. Not compared to a newly hatched snake or anything, but she was so cute and little compared to how she's now. I mean, she's still cute, but she was like a little baby. Now she's almost all grown up. She's not gonna be full-sized for another 1 to 2 years, I think. But I think at like 1, 3, they're breeding age, so in the wild, that's like an adult. I've been noticing like with each shed, or like right here down the kind of down her back, you see it's a little bit like lighter than the rest of her body. I noticed, so I'm thinking maybe she'll get like not white, but a, like kind of lighter stripe down her back. Petra's on the move again. I really want to set up like a camera or something here that is like a nocturnal camera. So I don't think it would be live, but I could share the clips and videos and stuff. So I could see what Petra does at night, because usually she's just kind of sitting and she doesn't do too much, but other times I'll hear her and she will be moving all over. So I do have a few clips of her climbing, but it would be fun if I could get like some really good footage of her. Aw, hi Petra. Petra says hello. Where is she? Oh, here. She was just kind of looking over there, and now she's back. She's like, hello human, what's going on? Do you have food for me? Why is my enclosure open? She's gonna eat pretty soon, because she finished her shed recently. When she sheds, she doesn't eat and she doesn't go to the bathroom, because her body's like focused on shedding her skin and getting ready for that process. So after her shed, she uses the bath for a few days, and then I feed her. So she's gonna eat pretty soon. Petra's just... I've been thinking about trying to make her one of the two, like a little crochet sweater, because I think that would be cute. But it's kind of tricky because I don't want the fibers of like something that's knitted or crocheted to get caught in her scales, because that's not, so obviously it's not good. So I don't know how I would go about that. I would have to see if I could get or ask someone to use a certain yarn that isn't very fibrous. I don't really know how to describe it. But I've seen people who do make them and sell little snake sweaters, so I think that would be cute to buy or make her one that isn't just normal fabric, but like one with like a pattern that's like a little, like it looks knitted. That would be so cute. Or I could just get one that's knitted, like just me being not thinking good. Petra, you're staring very intensely at the camera. Of course, when I say that, she moves. She's like, no, I'm not in bed. You silly. So yeah, Petra hasn't been up to much lately. Usually the case, because she doesn't have any business meetings or anything that she has to go to very urgently, but today she was like just hanging out. I was out doing some things, so I got home around 1ish, and it was really me. So she has this little corner that she sleeps in. I'm sure if you guys are familiar with the channel, I'm sure you know it. Like behind that, this little grass decoration that she has right there in that corner, that's where she sleeps. And I found her there, and I was like, oh, she's so cute. And I'm looking for where her head is, and it's just like under all her coils, and I just see the little tip of her face, and it was so cute. You could just see like the little tip of her nose, and I was like, oh, hello there. Usually what she does, if the way I tell if she's sleeping, people are like, how do you know if a snake's sleeping? Because snakes don't have eyelids. They have things called eye caps, which are like, obviously it's not plastic, but it kind of like looks like a little plastic dome around their eye, and they're called eye caps. That's what protects her eyes versus eyelids, and so you can't really tell if she's sleeping or not unless you look at her body. You can't look at her eyes because they're always going to be open. So what she'll do is when she sleeps, she will tuck her head under all her coils, mostly tuck her head under all her coils, and you won't be able to see it, or just barely be able to see it. And that's how I know she's sleeping, because she doesn't want to see the light. She's all coiled up, super tight, and ready to go to sleep. And if she just rests, kind of have her head placed on top of her coils, and she'll just be sitting there. And sometimes she'll flick her tongue a little bit or move around and kind of just recoil to get comfortable again. So that's how I know if she's resting. Is that a bumblebee python? Yes, it is. This is Petra. She is a bumblebee ball python. She will be 3 years old in April. She doesn't have, well, she does, but it's okay. I'll explain it. There's something called wobble. It's a neurological or a brain issue that happens in some morphs, which is like the coloring of the ball python, the patterns, and it's called a morph. Just the same way there's different types of dogs and there's different colors, there's different types of ball pythons and there's different colors. And with this morph, it's like in the DNA. I'm not really sure how it happened or what does it, but they have neural issues. Bumblebee ball pythons and spider ball python. Those are the two morphs that I know of, because a bumblebee ball python comes from a spider ball python. Those two of my knowledge are, I don't think they're the only two, but right? Yeah, I don't think so. But they do have neural issues I know of. So she doesn't have any, like, okay, how do I explain this? Oh, I cannot talk on lives. I don't know why. So technically, she does have the itty bittiest kind of like, but you don't really see them because there's something called corkscrewing or stargazing. There's a lot of terms for it. So they'll kind of this. Imagine my hand is their head, and they'll go whoop whoop, and they kind of don't have a really good sense of balance. I've only seen like once or twice, so she has like a very, very, very slight kind of symptom showing of it. So she does technically have it. All spider morphs and ball python morphs that morph have it technically, but you wouldn't think any of the kind of common symptoms or traits that come with it. So she has it to like a very, very minor degree. I got her before I knew any of that stuff. But I'm so glad I got her because I love her. Even if she isn't doing much right now, she's just hanging out. Which has a spitting a killer hornet, which has spider morph too. Double spider is bad, but a single gene of spider isn't that bad. Yeah, I think to make bumblebee ball pythons, it's one spider ball python and then a different morph. So it's not spider ball python that make the babies. It's spider ball python and then another morph. So she just ended up not really having a very, very severe case, which is good because that helps her live a happier and healthier life. Which, of course, we all want for our pets. Right, Petra? Boop. She's like, don't touch me, I'm sitting. She's sitting so politely live. Actually, I think that maybe, I don't know if there's like else that's in her like kind of family, whatever you want to call it, snake family tree or her main line, because she does have slightly lighter colors than I've seen with other bumblebee ball pythons. So it could be just like totally that just happens that's oh my god, that's just the coloring that she has to get. But I'm thinking maybe there's like something else that is in her family, so. I don't know, you can't really do like genetic tests that I know of, so I also don't want to have her like poked and prodded because it's not really necessary information, but it would just be interesting to see what kind of ball pythons ended up leading to Petra. I might be getting a ball python next birthday. I'm so excited. Ooh, cool. Do you have any like specific morphs you want to get or specific types? Pastel is her other gene. That's what I knew. I knew it was like another really like kind of light colored snake. So maybe she just got like a lot of pastel coloring and that's why she's so light. This is also after she sheds, so her colors are going to be kind of like nicest and freshest at this point versus when she's going to get a little bit duller as she gets closer to her next shed. On the move. Oh, are you going into your log? Okay, bye-bye. And then, okay, let me just move this over here. You guys can see her a little bit. I'm not entirely sure. I would be happy with anyone. Once I held an albino one a few weeks ago and she was amazing. I've done research on what they need and how to take care of them, so I'm prepared. Nice. Always good to do research before getting a pet. My one thing of advice is just be careful with kind of, I'm not sure what caused most illnesses in ball pythons. Obviously there's like scale rot and stuff like that, which is pretty easily avoidable. But I do know that albinos, I think this is in most animals as well, don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure, albinos are more susceptible to disease. I'm pretty sure I've heard many times in the ball python community, because I have an albino ball python before I had Petra. That was my my first ball python that I had, and that one unfortunately passed away due to an illness that I got her with, and just kind of started to get worse as I had her. I took her to the vet. We did all the treatments that they prescribed and all the medicine and stuff, but she ended up sadly passing away. So just make sure you do a little bit of extra research on kind of what causes sicknesses in albinos, in albino ball pythons, because I do know that the chances like heightened or like increased. But if you do all your research and you have the proper setup and heat and humidity, then you're good. Like right there, if I just lift the camera a little, can't see it too well, but those little circles in the back right there, that's something called a hydrometer or a hydromometer. I don't really know which one. And that tell you the humidity, which is like the water, the amount of water that's in the air, the moisture in the cage, which is super important to ball pythons. So as long as the heat and humidity are good, then usually the rest is just easy. Hornet is pastel, spider, and genetic. Oh, cool. If I were to get another ball python, I think I would get like a banana ball python or a blue eye lewistic. I usually say that I would want a thick ball python, but now I think I would get a banana one instead. Not that I'm getting another ball python anytime soon, sadly, but if I were ever to, I think banana ball pythons are super cute. They're all cute, but I think those ones are a little bit extra. Hi, welcome in. So you guys are witnessing the kind of wind down of Petra's day. If she's deciding, I'm gonna go to sleep, this is either the time she's kind of getting ready to curl up and start going to sleep, or when she's just waking up and she's like gonna be nocturnal for the next like 5 hours and keep my human awake. So this is her kind of getting ready to go to sleep. She's gonna go back and forth a bunch in between kind of being right here in the log or going into this corner and she's just gonna be kind of going back and forth and coiling into a little bit in the process. And this kind of, before she gets ready to bed, her little daily routine usually takes around, I want to say like anywhere from 30 to 40 minutes. And then she'll kind of sit down, and unless she goes to get a drink of water, that's usually where she'll stay. Cute snake. Thank you. You're getting your Ballpython in April. Nice. I got Petra in April too, so they're gonna have a similar adoption or whatever. I don't know, some people call them gotcha days. I say adoption day. Similar days. Oop, she's on the move again. Let's see. This time, you can't see her head, but it's coming forward a little bit, and she's starting to curl up in her log. Before she, if you scroll back like a minute or two, was she in that? Like, okay, maybe like around 3 or 4 minutes. You can see before she was in there, there's like this little area where all the wood chips are moved. And that's exactly where she sits, and she's kind of pushed all the wood chips away from that area. Chips are like harming her or anything, but she just, that's where she sits, so she kind of pushing them in the process, whether she wants to or not, just kind of what happens. Oh, here she comes. There's the face. Hello. Cutie. So yeah, just kind of what happens, and you could see exactly where she sits, the little imprint, and it's super cute. April is when it's usually warm enough to ship them. Yeah, I actually went to a store, Petra. I didn't ship her because I don't know. I get nervous shipping animals, and like, what if like the truck hits a bump and like the box moves? I get nervous with that. So I was like, I'll go pick her up in person. Order her. I went to the store and I found her. There was no like ordering and pickup. Your snake looks like a cheesecake. Oh, she kind of does. I always think that she looks like a loaf of bread, kind of like tannish yellow color of like a slightly toasted piece of bread. And then she has the white underbelly, which is like the raw piece of bread that didn't get cooked in the toaster or the microwave. Where she has like the brown, the mostly like brown and like a little bit of black, but mostly brown patterns is where the bread got burnt. So she looks like a little piece of toast to me. Oh, Petra, what was that? She just like flinched and burrow. What that probably was is she might be sitting on a wood chip or something that's like tickling her stomach. For whoever doesn't know, ball pythons and actually all snakes are very ticklish on their bellies. So we felt a little tickle there and she jilted. She's okay though. Just like the way I would flinch if you got tickled like under your feet or something like that where you're really ticklish. Hi, welcome in. So this is probably how Petra will be for the rest of the night, but she'll probably coil up a little bit tighter and she'll stick her head in, but this is probably how she'll be sitting for quite a bit more. I was inside for most of today, except like a little bit between going in between different buildings and stores and stuff because I had some stuff that I needed to get done today. And I had been inside one particular place for like an hour, and when I came out the door, the sun was like right at the top of the sky and there was no clouds and it wasn't windy anymore, and I stepped out and it was like, oh, and it was so nice. And it kind of like reminded me of when it's summer and the sky is all clear, when it's like really late spring and it's clear and it's warm and it's just so nice when you step outside. And then I stepped in like a pile of snow and I'm like, oh, it's still winter. I'm so excited for summer because, I mean, everyone is, I'm sure, but this is going to be the year where I'm going to take Petra on like some super special adventures. And we went on some last year too, but this is when I'm gonna get her a stroller and like some really nice outside gear, and we're gonna be like cruising down the sidewalks, just me and Petra. I want to get myself a blue-eyed Lucy as my next one. Cool. I would have the room to get more snakes. I mean, I do if I really wanted to like clear out some tape. Not that I have like a bunch of junk everywhere, but if I really wanted to move like a computer, if I really wanted to move that, and then I could put one on my nightstand too. I have a pretty big nightstand, but then I don't know, I don't want the big lights right in front of where I sleep. Then I'm really not gonna sleep. Oh, and imagine if all my snakes, if I had multiple, like 3 or 4 all climbing at the same time, you're just gonna hear like chick, 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 like all the leaves and wood chips rustling at night. Oh, I would never. So, because I don't want no storage for any of my things, sadly, I cannot get more snakes at the moment. One day, though. Yeah, can I go to bed at midnight? Bye-bye. Yeah, that's literally what they do. That's literally what they do, ball pythons. At least my experience and my experiences with them. Most of them, I mean, not most of them, most of the days, she'll be totally fine, just curl up like she is now. She won't move and curl, and then next day, good. Then it's just this one day or like 1 or 2 days out of the week, she'll be like, I'm just gonna be nocturnal now for whatever reason. I'm usually asleep at night because I'm domesticated, but I'm gonna be nocturnal, because why not? And she'll knock all of her decorations down. I don't even know. These are like super strong suction cups that her decorations have. She'll like rip them off the glass somehow, and I'll see half of her hammock in her water bowl. I don't know how she does it. Very chaotic when she wants to be. And so she has leaves. All the leaves in her enclosure fake it for the moment. She used to have a little air plant, but that didn't last long. And then I put it back up, and eventually the plant was like, yeah, I'm done. So this she does, and I hear this for like multiple hours at night if she decides to climb. Look how loud that is for just some fake leaves, especially if she's like really like playing with them and throwing them around. And I can't just go in there and be like, okay, go to sleep, and place her into her burrow, because she'll just come out and do it again. So I'm like, just go to sleep. The worst part is sometimes she'll be awake the whole day, moving around. I'll handle her for 30 minutes, an hour, put her back in. She should be tired. She was awake in the day. She was doing stuff. She was a busy girl. And then it's nighttime and she's like, I'm not tired. She keeps going. It's like, how do you still have energy? You were awake the entire day. So yeah, usually she's not that much though. She was climbing the past 2 nights because she's looking for food. She's probably eat. Let's see if today's Sunday. She'll definitely eat by Tuesday. No, she's just sitting so politely, like a little cinnamon bun or a donut all curled up. I call Petra so many different like foods. Someone said she looked like a cheesecake. That was really funny. I call her a donut. Sometimes I call her a bagel, but that's kind of rare. I usually call her like a donut or a cinnamon bun. I'll call her like a loaf of bread, or there's this dish that's made with potatoes and ladka, and you squish them. The potatoes, you like squish them. Not a disc, but like kind of like a flat-ish shape. And I'll call her that. She's like really smushed. I'm like, oh, you're like a little ladka. You're all squished in your corner. What else? I'll call her like a spaghetti, or like variants for pasta, like a spaghetti, a noodle. Petra's all the foods. So we are at 30 minutes, so gonna kind of start wrapping up soon. I like to keep the lives every minute so Petra isn't bothered for too long, and obviously I'm not sitting here tending to the camera, so I do want to close the door to her tank because her temperature and humidity are good, but I don't want it open for too long because then the temperature starts to kind of go up and down. So if you guys have any final questions or comments, feel free to chat. Reticulated pythons are fun to deal with. I've heard mixed things about reticulated pythons. I've heard a lot of people saying that they could be like really like snappy and kind of aggressive, not aggressive, but like defensive and stuff. I don't really think any animals are like, I mean, obviously there's a few, but like downright aggressive, just defensive because they don't know what you're gonna do as this like, unless it's a bigger animal, just like think of how big you are compared to a ball python or even a reticulate. Like unless they're familiar with you, they don't know what you're gonna do. So a lot of snakes can be defensive. So I've definitely heard that about them. They're pretty defensive snakes. But I've also seen people handling them, and they can also look super mild. So I've never done, so I don't know the like kind of firsthand experience, but I've heard pretty mixed things. Yeah, snakes definitely get defensive when they have eggs and stuff. I mean, of course, wild, after they have eggs, they kind of, and the eggs hatch, they kind of slither off and not abandon they don't abandon their children, they just let them figure out life for themselves, to put it nicely. So, like super motherly compared to other animals, but they definitely protect their eggs or their little nest area quite well. Okay, so at that, we're at 30, so I'm gonna start wrapping this up. Thank you so much for joining us. So nice to talk to you. Hope you have a good weekend and a good next week. Thank you for joining us. Have a good day or night wherever you are. All the things that the big YouTubers say, like and subscribe and the notifications. So with that, thank you for joining us, and night or day. Bye, Petra.